Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is part 2 of the plagiarism video series, and I wanted to go over how Turnitin works. A lot of times when you submit written work this year, it's going to be through Turnitin. You've probably been using it for several years in NISD, but a lot of students that I have worked with over the years don't really understand how Turnitin works, and they don't understand how they can use Turnitin to find errors in their own writing for where they've forgotten to cite a source or to correctly say where they got some information. So I wanted to show you a demo of what that looks like. So here's a document that was submitted. And when you submit your document, after you upload it through Moodle, you can see your similarity report. And every year my students ask, well, what percent is okay? And I never know how to answer that question because there's never a good answer for it. I don't really care what the percent similarity is. I'm looking over here. This one's 49%. On some assignments, it's going to be quite high because it's going to pick up directions that I have in the document, or it might pick up the actual questions that you are writing responses to, and it's going to pick up all your cited material. So that percent, unless it's really high, like 80 or 90 or 100, that means you cheated. Or it means you turned in just the assignment without actually adding your own content. I've seen both. But what I want to look for is this. I'm going to click on this, and this is what you can do too. And it is going to highlight all of the material that comes from an external source. So the first thing I do is I look at what's highlighted, and this is going to tell me what that source was. This is from source 1, which is Wikipedia. This pink one is source 2, which is from National Geographic. And then this purple is from source 3, which is AGAU News. Okay. So when I'm looking at these, if I see text that is not part of the question or the directions and it's highlighted, that means it came from somewhere else. The first thing I'm going to look is, are there quotation marks around it and a citation after it? I don't see one here. This is where sweet little Tessa Ruiz, the fictional student from the Turnitin demo, is going to get herself into trouble. When I see quotation marks and I see a citation, I move on. You have done what you are supposed to do. I'm going to expect quoted material in your writing. And so when I see that, I say, great. My student included textual evidence the proper way, and I move on. It's not plagiarism. It's highlighting it because it came from somewhere else, but you already told me where it came from because you put it in quotation marks and you cited it. When I'm looking at all of these 3 different things, none of this has any quotation marks or citations. That's a problem. So this student, I would be looking further to figure out what material was actually hers, and she would potentially be getting into some hot water with plagiarism. The other thing that Turnitin does that's kind of neat is that it will pick up on words that are changed. What I mean by that is, for example, here in this one, this is an example from some student, a student had done for their Declaration of Independence questions. And what the student had done was they had some quoted material. So here I see quotes, a citation, looks great. But a lot of this text is the same, and only certain words have been changed. So Banneker's tone throughout his letter is very hypocritical and condescending. What that tells me is this student used someone else's, and maybe they added the word very here. Maybe they changed throughout from in his letter. And so students will change words from either something they found online or something that their friend gave them. And when they do this, it's still cheating, and you're still going to get in trouble. So when you are turning work in, you need to keep in mind that it needs to be your own. You should not be working with partners unless you are told to work in partners or a group. And I'm always going to be very, very clear on that. And so when you come across work that you are asking a friend to say, I wanted to see her questions because I wanted to see what they look like, no teacher's going to fall for that. We know you know what questions look like. You're in AP 11th grade English. This isn't new. So make sure that when you are turning in work, it is 100% your own, and that anything that you quote has quotation marks around it and a citation next to it.